Today I, Devanshu and my team going to give a brief description of 9-9 and the South China Sea in my presentation. We have divided
our presentation.
So our presentation. We have divided our
अच्छा
presentation.
देखो मैंने आवर पे क्यों एम्फेसाइज किया थोड़ा सा सोचो. अब क्या है कि अगर मान लो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में कल हम बात कर रहे थे थोड़ा सा ये वाला एटीट्यूड है मी वाला इट कैन रिफ्लेक्ट थ्रू वर्ड्स चॉइस ऑफ वर्ड्स सो बी वेरी केयरफुल. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि इट इज अ कंफर्मेशन बट बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग एज अ टीम टॉक एज अ टीम. ठीक है ना.
We have divided our topic into the four subparts: introduction, China hegemony, UN clause, and the world order. First thing, we have to talk about the location of the South China Sea and the 9-9. Talking about it is the arm of Western Pacific Ocean that is in the South Asia. It is in the south of China, north of Borneo, and east of Vietnam and west of Philippines. Talking
Have you
about
not
the
earmarked? Yeah.
Talking about the countries that surrounds South China Sea in a clockwise direction, starting from the China, Taiwan, Philippines, then then Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, then Malaysia.
It is Brunei or Brunei?
Brunei, sir.
Okay.
Brunei.
Malaysia, Singapore.
Okay. So the first thing came, what is 9-dash line? It is a demarcating line that claimed by the China to show their dominance in the South China Sea. Initially it was called as the 11-9 because there was some their area covered large. Later they reduced the area so it comes to the 9-9. We also called it as a cow's tongue because you can see from the diagram it is look like a tongue. That's why we call it as a cow tongues. So talking about the origin. So 9-9 was originated in 1940s by the China. It represents the historical context of the Chinese maritime territories. Talking about the claims, so China do not have the exact coordinations of that lines, so they lead to the various disputes where in the countries in the South Asia countries like Philippines, like Brunei, and the islands such as Pagos and Spratleys Islands. Talking about this strategic importance, South China Sea is a South China Sea is rich in various sources of maritime resources like fisheries, and it is many trade routes that goes from the South China Sea. Talking about the many straits such as Malacca Strait that connect South China Sea and the Indian Ocean, and the Java and the Taiwan Strait that connects South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, and talking about the disputes, this South China Sea is a bone of this 9-line is a bone of contention in between the countries that lying in that region, because every countries want to show their dominance in that region because this region is rich source of maritime resources and the such as crude oil and fisheries, etc. Next part will be covered by Ayush, that is the Chinese hegemony. Thank you.
Very nice. Good.
China dominance in the South China Sea characterized by territorial claims, aggressive land reclamation, militarization, and exploitation of resources can further lead to future disputes. See, first point: extensive territorial claims. In China has claimed approximately 90% of the South China Sea. Which also covers the exclusive economic zones of other nations such as Vietnam, Philippines, Taiwan, Indonesia, and militarization of islands. China has claimed many islands and also made artificial islands in the South China Sea.
What is that you have drawn? What do I see this? What is it called? Why is it yellow? What is this?
So this is the movement of ships of China.
So this picture must be taken from somewhere. Where is this picture taken from?
Google.
Google में क्या दिखा रहा है ये yellow क्या है? What do you see?
It is showing the trade routes.
It is showing the concentration of the ships. Are you getting my point?
That's why this reason is of the economic importance.
Ajay, I would like to know if anyone or four of you would like to answer me. There was 11-line initially. So
Yes,
which
sir.
two lines were removed and why? Later on.
11-9 was the area that was.
Hey, Ayush, you're not finished.
Yes, sir. Mike.
अच्छा.
So 11-line was the area initially claimed by the China. Later on, sir, they reduced the territory and claimed
Which territory?
So up to the 11 line.
No, you're not getting the point. Two lines were removed
Sir,
for
I
a
will-
particular country.
North Vietnam, because there was the government which was in coordination with the PLA.
So Gulf of Tonkin, where it is?
In the
Where is Gulf of Tonkin in this?
uh, here it is, sir. Gulf of Tonkin.
किधर है?
Here.
तो लैंड है उसके नीचे ना हाँ
हाँ.
यू गॉट द पॉइंट
Yes.
चलो
Militarization of islands. China has deployed many fighter jets, missiles, and radars in the islands of South China Sea, and also increase the coast guard movements, and also increase the fishing militias, which are trained military trained fishermen. Now, exploitation of resources. The many resources which are under the control of other exclusive economic zones of many nations, which is controlled and exploited by the China. And China also intimidate other nations and use the resources like oil extraction and fishing, economic and geopolitical factor. China's dominance in the South China Sea is strategically important as it is a trade route as well. It can control the resources and the ship bay, which is important for China. Now, choke point. There are many choke points, but one of the major one is Malacca Strait.
where are you looking? Look at the people ना why are you looking down?
There are many choke points, but one of the major is Malacca Strait, which is
Again looking down, look straight into the eyes.
There are many choke points, but one of the major is Malacca Strait, which is between Indonesia and Malaysia. That can be very crucial if it is controlled to set a dominant in the South China Sea. Now, consequences of China's dominance. Regional tension. As China dominate South China Sea, it leads to regional tension between many other nations that leads to a future potential conflicts, threats to freedom of navigation. China dominates South China Sea and also do not agree to the international laws, which will definitely do not agree to the international laws and the free navigation of other nations, and their resources is controlled by China. Increase of military presence. China has increased its military presence in the South China Sea and set a dominant over other nations. Environmental damage. Creating of artificial islands, which will lead to disrupt coral reefs, which are the economic source for locals, and also source of food for other creatures, and also good for marine vegetation. And creating of artificial islands also disrupt marine vegetation and the exploitation, and is also damaging South China Sea. Now I would like to call Mr. Vasisht for further explanation.
थोड़ा सा मामला अटक रहा है और प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा है ना
So,
will you practice
thank
it
you, Iris.
Yes, sir.
please practice a lot public speaking don't worry about the language too much बहुत ज़्यादा लैंग्वेज को लेके कॉन्शियस मत हो और थोड़ा क्लैरिटी से बोलने की कोशिश करो you should be able to speak freely है ना तो आप बोल रहे हो बट थोड़ा कहीं बीच में अटक जा रहा है. It can also be because of lack of knowledge. If it is because of lack of knowledge, so then you can always build it up. And if it is because of certain inhibitions, then please shake it off. Don't carry it any forward. Don't worry how is my language going, how am I speaking, what is my content, what is my tone, tenor. इतना ध्यान मत दो कि वो आपको conscious बना दे. ठीक है? Rest it is good. ठीक है.
Okay, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So I will be talking about UNCLOS, which is United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. So first of all, let us understand what is UNCLOS. UNCLOS is a primary treaty between the majority of the countries.
It's treaty
in
or
the-
convention?
It's a treaty.
No. It's a convention. You see, United Nations Convention.
Okay, sir.
What is difference in treaty and convention?
Treaty is between two or some countries, but convention is major.
Convention is kind of
major
general consensus.
Okay. So वो सर मैंने जो पढ़ा था वही करता है.
ठीक हो बात.
हाँ, ठीक है. So it is a convention between the countries, majority of the countries of the world, which regulates the maritime interest of the countries and the responsibilities of the sea routes. So UN clause has divided the sea routes and the sea areas in the three main categories. First of all, it is territorial sea. What is territorial sea? You can see in the diagram that it is from the seashore of the country from 0 nautical mile to the 12 nautical mile. So what is territorial sea? Territorial sea is a kind of area in the sea which is regulated by the country sovereignly, like it is the land of the country. And then it comes contiguous zone. Contiguous zone is from 12 nautical mile to 24 nautical mile. There are some sovereign rights and there are some not rights that are not totally sovereign. So it is kind of a semi-sovereign rights region. Then comes EEZ, which is very important for the countries. That is exclusive economic zone. It is from 24 nautical miles to the 200 nautical miles.
No, from 0 to 200.
Okay, sir. 0 to 200 nautical miles. So between this region, countries can explore all the resources that is beneath the sea, and they can do whatever they want for the research and exploration of the sea. Now, let me talk about the law of UN clause in this conflict of 9-dash line. So, the conflict between UN clause and the 9-dash line, it's not basically conflict directly between the UN clause and the 9-dash line, but the Philippines, which was affected by the hegemony of the China, went to the UN clause, went to the Permanent Court of Arbitration in the Hague, Netherlands.
Permanent Court of Arbitration.
Arbitration with the help of 7th clause of the UN clause.
What is that place called as? Hague.
Hague, Netherlands. Yes, sir. So it went to the Hague, Netherlands in the PCA tribunal, and in 2013, PCA tribunal formed another tribunal to see this case between Philippines and the China's 9-dash line. So the conflict, as my teammates has already said, that what are the kind of conflicts that China is directly affecting the sovereign rights of the Philippines and many other countries. So what is the verdict that PCA gave? In 2016, PCA gave verdict that China's claims of 9-dash line is totally baseless because it's not defined because of their historical claims. Second, it was that China can't build his own EEZ because of their artificial islands. Because my teammate has already said that they have created many artificial islands which increases their EEZ according to them, but it's not true according to UN clause and the PCA. Now, what's the reaction of the world on this particular tribunal's decision? So first of all, let me come to the India's stance on this. India is totally following the UN clause and the PCA. So India is totally in the favor of Philippines and the decision taken by the UN clause and the PCA. Talking about other countries like Vietnam and Malaysia and Brunei, they are also severely affected by the hegemony of China. So they are also in the favor of Philippines and the respected bodies. Now talking about USA, which is not particularly part of UN clause, but still it believes in the freedom of navigation. So it has also supported the claims of Philippines and rejected the claims of China. Now let me talk about China's position, as China is China. So it has rejected all the decisions that has come from the tribunal, and they are still doing what they have been doing from the years. Thank you, gentlemen. Now I will hand over to Harshvardhan, who will further explain about this particular idea.
Very good. All good.
As my friends have explained what is 9-dash line, what are the Chinese hegemons, and what is the conflict between these. I am going to explain what is the scenario of the world. First is Southeast Asian claimants.
Claimants.
Claimants. Countries like Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam have contest the part of China's claim. But some Asian countries have reliance on Chinese economies. So there is a fragmented response in Southeast Asian claimants. Now, what is the scenario of USA and Western Alliance? USA is operating freedom navigation operating freedom navigation.
What is freedom navigation?
Freedom
of navigation.
Freedom of navigation in international water to counter the China's claim. US Navy regularly sells their ship near the disputed area to has a adherence to the international maritime law. Western allies like Australia, UK, France, Germany, Japan has also criticized the China's claim and are doing maritime exercises. Asian mixed approach. Asians are a group of peoples in Southeast, and they have a very mixed approach due to the varying of national interest and the reliance of and the economical reliance to China. So let's talk about the United Nations. In 2016, Philippines has won the arbitration case, but China has ignored the verdict. So United Nations Convention on the law of the sea is a very law form, but its implementation is very weak. So that's why the next strategic alliance and countermeasures. Strategic alliance of the USA and many other countries, including Quad, AUKUS, are doing maritime exercise to counter China. Impact on India. India doesn't share this boundary with South China, and it is indirectly impact. So let's talk about it. Geopolitical tension. China's claim and assertiveness in the South China Sea has threatened India, and but India is making friends in South China Sea like Vietnam and Philippines, because they share the same concern as the China's expansionisms. Freedom of navigation. India supports freedom of navigation in international waters. In Vietnam, for example, on Indian company ONGC is doing oil extraction and gas exploration in Vietnam waters. For example, Block 128, which is in South China Sea. So, impact on energy interest is China is pressurizing India to for operating it in. So, there is a diplomatic tension and friction between the two nations. Indo-Pacific strategy. Indo-Pacific strategy. India and many other India is motivated by this because it is making friends and it is deepening its strategical cooperation with the other countries like USA, UK, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and it is doing a maritime exercise, for example Malabar, to counter the China's militarization in the South China Sea. Legal and normative stance. India supports the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea, which does. Sorry, I'm forgetting.
No problem. No problem.
Which counters the China's.
ठीक है, got it. So more practice is required. You would have realized. तो ये सारा fumbling जो हो रहा है, it is not acceptable, and you will have to work really hard. You have to practice. More practice we will do anyway here, but more practice at your place when you are finding time, getting deeper into it, speaking on a topic, particularly lecturing, standing in front of mirror, talking. These things will only come out when you do practice. Nothing else. More practice is the only solution. ठीक है? Done. Very good. Very good. Thank you. चलो. Now